As the world celebrates and rings in 2026, that means it is time to take a look at the release schedule for the next 12 months. Which movies will be a box office success? Which movies will be a box office disaster? And which ones could fall somewhere in the middle? Let's take a look and dive right in. Hello again, and welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Jay the Projectionist. Normally on my weekly shows, which will run on Tuesdays, I will review the box office results from the previous week, as well as give some non-spoiler reviews of those new movies that opened, talk some movie news, and give my prediction for the box office for the upcoming weekend. However, since this is the first full week of 2026, I decided I want to do things a little different on this episode. So what I'm going to do today is take a look at the 2026 release schedule and give my thoughts on which movies have me a bit curious, as well as predict which 10 movies will be the highest grossing in 2026. So the first thing I'm going to do is take a look at the movies that have me a bit curious. So these ones are concepts that have me intrigued, or ones that could be a bit of a head scratcher. So the first movie is Greenland 2 Migration, which stars Gerald Butler. So after the events of the first film, where they navigate to a bunker in Greenland due to an incoming asteroid impact, the Garrett family must navigate a post-apocalyptic world to find a new home, while avoiding all the dangers that still loom. So this movie has me curious for a few reasons. First, at the end of the first movie, the survivors in the bunker overhear a transmission that the atmosphere is clearing. However, watching the trailer for Greenland 2, you can see there are still some dangers and threats that are still out there. Mainly from that interstellar comet Clark, which is still there. So, either the reports they're overhearing from the first movie are completely false, or it's true, but only certain parts, of the world are still impacted. Second reason is that we don't get too many of these quote-unquote follow-up movies when it comes to like the disaster movies. So yes, there was Independence Day and Independence Day Resurgence, which Independence Day Resurgence was a flop. But, I mean, there was no story in between the events of those two movies, such as, which alien ship sent out the SOS signal, which triggered the second Independence Day movie. How did Earth's survivors rebuild society? What was life like for the president, who was played by Bill Pullman at that time, immediately after the events of the first movie? There was also The Day After Tomorrow. So how did life adjust after the storm ended, which sent the majority of the planet back into a new ice age? There's also the movie 2012. What does the world look like after the waters receded? How did civilization rebuild? So Dev a chance to tell a solid story with Greenland 2. Is there a threat to the bunker? Where do they plan to find a new home? And what dangers are out there that, that what we saw in the trailer and what they have to deal with? Like rival factions, or survivors, or those looking to steal resources, just to do whatever they can, to survive, since there's no laws being enforced. So it's basically like everyone fending for themselves. So Greenland 2 Migration is definitely a movie that I'm intrigued about, and I do plan on watching it. So let's go to the next category, which is the horror genre. So horror movies are usually not my favorite, because for me, horror movies, it's like you've seen one and you've seen all the other movies that follow in, the same franchise. Like, for example, if you've seen the first Conjuring movie, that means you've basically seen Conjuring 2, Conjuring 3, and everything else in that, that universe. Same thing with Insidious. Like, if you've seen the first Insidious movie, it kind of feels like you've seen all the other Insidious movies that followed afterwards. The horror genre has had a nice little rebound as of late. I mean, look at Conjuring Last Rites. Look at Sinners. Weapons. 28 years later. So, so horror is definitely finding its groove. So I think the horror genre is definitely something to keep an eye on for the 2026 calendar year. Now, as far as horror movies, the ones I'm going to keep my eyes on are 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple, They Will Kill You, and Werewolf. So these are movies I'm definitely intrigued by. So now with 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple, it picks up after the events of the previous movie, where Spike is abducted into Sir Jimmy Crystal's gang of acrobatic killers in a post-apocalyptic world. So, and then obviously the movie is being distributed by Sony, and then that's going to be set to release January 16th. So definitely mark your calendars down for that. They Will Kill You. I've seen the trailer for it recently, and so far so good. That movie has me excited to check out. Zazie Beetz and Heather Graham are in this movie, along with Patricia Arquette. So this movie tells the story of a woman living in New York City who answers a help wanted ad to be a housekeeper. However, the community and complex that she'll be working in has strange and mysterious secrets. So, yeah, if you have not checked out the trailer for They Will Kill You, definitely check it out. It's definitely worth a watch. The movie itself opens on March 27th. And then the last movie, which is Werewolf, we have ways to go until that movie opens. That's set to open Christmas Day. So we got ways to go before that hits theaters. But the movie takes place in 13th century England and tells the story of a creature that's terrorizing an English countryside. Willem Dafoe, Aaron Taylor Johnson, Lily Rose Depp, they are starring in this movie, which is being distributed by Focus Features here in the United States, and Universal Studios will be handling distribution internationally. So, all right. One other thing I want to talk about, the video game genre. So, the video game genre is very decisive. They'll put out some good movies from time to time, but a lot of the other movies are pretty much in the middle, or they're not great at all. But I mean, as I mentioned, some of the movies, they were a success, like Sonic the Hedgehog, Pokemon Detective Pikachu, Uncharted. As I mentioned, there are some that they're not that great, like Mortal Kombat Annihilation, Doom, Resident Evil, Welcome to Raccoon City. So, but yes, there are more video game movies that are scheduled to open in 2026. There is one that looks promising though, but I am cautiously optimistic on it. And that one is Mortal Kombat 2. So this movie, Mortal Kombat 2, is technically the fourth Mortal Kombat movie to receive a wide theatrical release. But it is the second in the rebooted franchise. So with this upcoming version of the movie, Johnny Cage joins the Champions of Earthrealm, and they're engaged in battle when Earthrealm is threatened by Shao Kahn. So this movie was actually delayed. This movie should have already came out, but it was delayed due to the SAG-AFTRA strike back in 2023. So right now, the release date is set for May 8th, 2026. So with that brief synopsis, it does sound kind of similar to Mortal Kombat Annihilation, which was released back in 1997. Now, in that movie, after the Earthrealm's champions won the Mortal Kombat tournament, Shao Kahn broke the rules and kept the portal to Outworld open, which started the invasion and was forcing the Earthrealm champions into another battle once again for the future of their home world. The movie's production budget, which is half of the budget for actually marketing the movie, was about $30 million. The movie grossed just north of $50 million. So with a movie's budget, there are two parts of the budget. So production budget, marketing budget. So I wasn't able to find any numbers for the movie's marketing budget, but my guess is that it was probably around 10 to 15 million with a total of at most maybe 45 million. So Mortal Kombat Annihilation either lost money for the studio or barely broke even. After Mortal Kombat Annihilation, I mean, I know there were talks of them doing a third movie, which would have been a direct sequel to Annihilation, but given how poorly Mortal Kombat Annihilation did, they scrapped those plans. They scrapped those plans and canceled the third movie. Alright, so as I mentioned, we're in 2026. It's a brand new year. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to predict what would be the top 10 highest grossing movies of 2026. And then towards the end of the year, I will revisit this to see if I was spot on or if I was completely off. So again, as a disclaimer, the studios, they can change their release schedule for any number of reasons. So this is based off of the release schedule that I was able to pull towards the end of 2025. So question is what movies will be the top 10 highest grossing for 2026? So here is my prediction. So with number 10, The Bride. So with The Bride, this movie tells the story of a woman who was murdered, but then was created and brought to life to become the bride, who is a companion for Frankenstein's creature. This movie stars Jessie Buckley, Christian Bale, Peter Sarsgaard, and Annette Bening. This movie is distributed by Warner Brothers, and it is scheduled to release on March 6th. Number 9, I'm going to go with Minions 3. So this is obviously the third movie in the Minions series and the 7th overall in the Despicable Me franchise. As of the recording of this video, there's currently no synopsis. Obviously, the movie's being distributed by Universal, and this will hit theaters on July 1st. Number 8, I'm going to go with Focker in Law. So, that family is back. Robert De Niro, Ben Stiller, Owen Wilson, they're back reprising their roles for the 4th installment, and they will be joined by some new cast members. So, and then again, as we're recording this video, there is no synopsis just yet. The movie is scheduled to release on November 25th, and it will be distributed by Universal Pictures here in the U.S. Paramount Pictures will handle distribution internationally. So, number 7, I'm going with Dune 3. Now, Dune 3 will see the return of Timothée Chalamet, Zendaya, Jason Momoa, Josh Brolin, Robert Pattinson will be joining this cast as well. Dune is definitely a popular franchise based off the books. It definitely has its fans. The first 2 movies did very well. Dune is one of those movies, one of those franchises that is worth seeing in a premium large format, such as IMAX, Dolby Cinema, ScreenX, XD, just to name a few. So this movie is being distributed by Warner Brothers, and it's going to release on December 18th. However, I'm going to put an asterisk next to Dune 3, and I will explain that a little bit later. So, number 6, I'm going to go with The Hunger Games, Sunrise on the Reaping. So, this movie obviously takes place years before the events of the first Hunger Games movie. So, it stars Joseph Zada, McKenna Grace, Ben Wang. So, this movie is being distributed by Lionsgate. It's going to release November 20th. So, yeah, Hunger Games fans, you have another installment of this franchise to look forward to. So, that's number 6, Hunger Games, Sunrise on the Reaping. Number 5, The Odyssey. I was thinking about putting The Odyssey a little bit higher, but I think this is going to be a pretty long movie. I know some people can't sit through long movies. I like long movies as long as it's definitely engaging and, you know, it's a really good movie. It's a good storyline. Very engaging cast. So, I think The Odyssey will do well. It's an action fantasy movie directed by Christopher Nolan. So, as I mentioned, it's probably going to be a long movie. So, I mean, as of right now, as of the recording of this video, there's no official runtime just yet. Since the movie is still in post-production, technically. So, they could, you know, make some changes, do some reshoots, maybe cut some stuff out of the final cut. So the movie follows Odysseus, who is the king of Ithaca, as he travels back home following the events of the Trojan War. And it's got an amazing cast. You're talking about Matt Damon, Tom Holland, Anne Hathaway, Robert Pattinson, Lupita Nyong'o, and Zendaya. So, yeah, Tom Holland, Zendaya, they're in this movie. So, Spider-Man and MJ. So, now there was another movie that also told a similar story that also had an equally amazing cast as well. Except that movie was directed by Wolfgang Peterson. And that was distributed by Warner Brothers. And it was the movie Troy, which was released all the way back in 2004. The difference between Troy and the Odyssey is that Troy covers everything leading to the Trojan War, the actual war itself, and the fall of Troy. Whereas the Odyssey covers the events after the fall of Troy. So officially, this movie, The Odyssey, is not a sequel to Troy, since it's 2 different movies from 2 different studios. But if you have not seen the movie Troy, I definitely encourage you to go check that out. It is a very good movie, full of action, drama, deceit. The Odyssey is going to hit theaters July 17th, and it's being distributed by Universal. So, Number 4. Spider-Man Brand New Day. So this movie will obviously pick up where the last Spider-Man movie had left off. Peter Parker is, embracing responsibility and life balance. And that soon will be tested when new threats emerge. So we'll see what Peter Parker has to deal with in this upcoming movie. Obviously, Tom Holland and Zendaya will be returning to reprise their roles. And the movie will hit theaters on July 31st. Number 3, Mandalorian and Grogu. So I, like so many people, have been a huge fan of the Disney Plus series of The Mandalorian. So I honestly think it's about time they turn this into a movie. It's directed by Jon Favreau, so I'm expecting incredible things from this. So obviously the movie's being distributed by Disney, and the movie is scheduled to release on May 22nd. So we'll see what Pedro Pascal can do. Now it's time for the top 2. Which movie is number 2? Which movie is number 1? These 2 movies I've honestly been back and forth on as far as order for a little bit of time now. These 2 movies, I believe, have a strong case for being number 1. But either way, it's going to be a big one for Disney. So just by me saying that should be the dead giveaway on what the top 2 movies are. But as far as order, number 2, I'm going to go Toy Story 5. So Toy Story 5 picks up where the last movie left off, where Jessie and Buzz Lightyear are in Bonnie's room while Bonnie finds a new toy that has become like her new favorite, which is like some sort of frog-like tablet named Lilypad. All while Woody is trying to find homes for, toys that were left behind or abandoned. So Jessie is kind of like stepped up and taken over, and Buzz Lightyear is like Jessie's sidekick. So, and then Tom Hanks, Tim Allen, they'll be back providing their voice talents for this movie. So lots of people grew up with the Toy Story franchise, and over the years it's grown a cult following. It's brought in new fans, so we'll see how this movie does. It is set to open on June 19th. And that leads to number 1, Avengers Doomsday. So I initially had doubts if this could be in the top 3, but seeing Disney calling so many audibles with their strategy and then getting Joe and Anthony Russo to direct this movie, my confidence for Avengers Doomsday has started to go up. This is going to be one of the most anticipated movies in the Marvel Cinematic Universe in a long time. So we're going to see the ramifications from the results of Endgame and the Loki Disney Plus series. Because remember, technically, if you think back to Endgame, all the Infinity Stones were not put back. In Avengers Endgame, Loki took the 2012 version of the Space Stone and disappeared, which led to the events of the Loki series. So, and then with Avengers Doomsday, I'm predicting that Dr. Doom, who's being played by Robert Downey Jr., is actually a variant of Tony Stark, who made different, darker choices versus the Tony Stark we all know. and that will lead to him becoming Doctor Doom. This movie is going to have a stacked cast, like a very large cast. Joe and Anthony Russo, they did a fantastic job making it work in Avengers Endgame, and Infinity War as well. This is obviously going to pose some new challenges, since this is now also going to include the Fantastic Four and the 20th Century Fox version of the X-Men. And in my opinion, we will probably also get a look at who will become the new X-Men. Because different timelines, different universes, they're all going to collide. So, Avengers Doomsday is scheduled to hit theaters December 18th. December 18th has been mentioned twice, and that's why I said earlier I was putting an asterisk next to Dune 3, because Dune 3 and Avengers Doomsday have the same release date, December 18th. I mean, as of the recording of this video, they're still both scheduled to release on that same day, which is a bit of a head scratcher. The movie studios do their best to strategize by setting release dates for their movies based on how well the movie could do, as well as any possible competing movies from other studios. Just as an example, like we have an upcoming Jumanji movie that's scheduled to release on December 11th, which is 1 week before Doomsday, and Dune Part 3. Angry Birds 3 is scheduled to be released December 23rd, which is the Wednesday before Christmas. So, but Avengers and Dune, they want to maximize the potential profits. So, one of these two will have to move off of that release date. And honestly, I'm surprised that it's not happened yet. In my opinion, I believe Warner Brothers is going to be the one to move Dune 3 off the December 18th release date. If that happens, I think one of three things could happen. Either they'll release it on December 4th, which will have it compete against Violent Night 2. Option 2, they could release it on December 25th, which seems like the unlikely option, because they probably want to capture as much holiday business as possible. So that's why it wouldn't make too much sense to release it right on Christmas Day. The third option would be to take it off the 2026 calendar and release it the first quarter of 2027. So that January, February, or March. Which, if that does end up happening, then any money it makes will count towards 2027 and not 2026. I mean, release date changes do happen from time to time. It's the movie studios wanting to stay competitive, strategically placing certain movies in certain times where it could, draw the most business possible. So just always remember, it's the movie studios that determine when their movies are released, not the movie theaters. As far as which two movies I believe will just miss the top 10, I believe they will be the live-action Moana and a movie from Lionsgate called Michael. I think those two movies will just miss the top 10. So those are my predictions for what could be the top 10 highest grossing movies of 2026. And in December, probably like the second to last or the last week of December. I'll look right back at this list, and we'll see if I got it spot on or if I was way off. So that will definitely be fun to look at. But that will do it today for this special episode. As I mentioned, every Tuesday I will have my weekly show where I'll review the weekend box office results, talk a little movie news, and give non-spoiler opinions on the new release movies, as well as predict box office results for the upcoming weekend. The first Thursday of each month, check out my show Rewind, where I will review movies that were released in theaters 10 plus years ago. Finally, the last Thursday of each month, check out some fun content where I discuss the history of a certain movie theater location, a theater chain, movie studio, etc. For this show, that will be that I will drop on the last Thursday of each month. What I will do is I'll post a schedule for it on my channel. That way, if it's an episode where I'm discussing a certain theater location, those that have seen frequent movies there, or those that currently work there or used to work there, they'll have the opportunity and option, if they choose, to share some great memories that they have there, some great positive memories. And obviously I'll do my best to stick to the schedule, keeping in mind the schedule is subject to change, whether it's due to a holiday, technical issue, or anything else. So other than that, I will do my best to keep to the schedule. Thank you once again, and be sure to like and subscribe. Feel free to leave a comment as well. Movies are subjective, so I will love to hear your input. Whether you agree or disagree, just keep the comments clean. So thank you, take care, and I'll see you on the next episode.